The topic of my presentation is childhood obesity and its hidden effects. The reason I chose the topic of childhood obesity is because I have worked with children for many years. My last year in high school, I was a member of the mentorship program where I went and mentored children in kindergarten and first grade. I was also a worker at a local daycare center where I worked in child care. I noticed many things about the children, but one thing in particular that I noticed was the children's weight. I noticed that the children who were eager to get out and play were a lot slimmer than those who wanted to stay in, watch television, and play the video games that the daycare center provided. If we can focus our attention on this obese figure here, I would like to point out a couple of things. Inside the obese figure, you will see fat-producing products. There's hamburgers, Skittles, Dr. Pepper, cookies, M&Ms, just to name a few. This is a great example that explains things that can result from obesity, overeating and eating foods that are high in fat. Another leading factor of childhood obesity is the television. Children nowadays are tuned in the many different shows that are coming on TV, and they're not going outside to be physically active. Video games is another. If you see here, we have a young boy who is obese in front of the television playing a video game. Computer usage is another factor that is keeping children from becoming physically active. I would like to name a couple of physical activities for our children. They could go out for a walk, a run, play their bicycle, or go to the community swimming pool. If children exclude themselves from being physically active in their everyday lives, they will start to see a significant difference in their weight, which should then lead to childhood obesity. I would like to name a couple of physical effects that result from childhood obesity. Hypertension. Hypertension, also known as high blood pressure, is associated with heart disease. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic disorder. Type 2 diabetes is like any other diabetes where you take medications. The only difference in type 2 diabetes is that there is no use for insulin. Sleep apnea. Sleep apnea occurs in an obese person while they are asleep. They tend to stop breathing for a period of 5 to 10 seconds. High cholesterol is another leading factor from obesity, which is fat in the blood. Now I would like to talk to you guys about the emotional effects from childhood obesity. Low self-esteem is the #1 effect from childhood obesity. Children are at school among their peers. They see their peers that are in slimmer images, and they can't compare themselves to those who are slimmer than them, and their self-esteem is very low. Low self-esteem usually leads to depression, and depression usually leads to self-injury. There has been many cases of obese children injuring themselves. I'd like to take this time out to talk to you guys as parents preventive measures that we could do to prevent our children from becoming obese. If you pay attention, I have a My Pyramid guide. This is a food guide that us as parents and children can go by that will help us to eat healthy. Our children need their whole grains, their milks, their vegetables, fruits, and water, and the My Pyramid guide is a great guide that the children can follow. Also, we need to get our children out and about, get our children active in the community. I have a picture here of a couple of children playing sports, and we should also encourage our children to become active in schools, active in the school's sports, and active academically. Are there any questions for me today?
Yes. Has there been any research that would show the obesity rate among the sexes?
Yes. The CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, had done a study where it shows females, young girls, as being more obese than boys, young males.
How about obesity among the racial groups? Who has the highest rate?
The CDC also did a study that females in the African American and Latino races were more obese than young boys or young females in the white American race.
What about the schools? Do you think the schools should play a role, or what sort of role do you think the schools should play in addressing the issue of obesity?
Schools can play many roles. #1, they can get rid of the snack machines that are giving out candy bars and just fat producing products. The soda machines, we need to get rid of the sweet sodas. They can become better in their meal plans. Kids need their whole grains, more fruits and vegetables in their meal plans, and also the schools can have more physical activities for the children. Is that it for me today? Okay. I would like to focus our attention back on the obese figure here. Inside the obese figure, again, I would like to point out a couple of things. The M&Ms, the Skittles, the hamburger, these are the things that represent the low self-esteem, the oppression, the hidden effects inside of an obese person. The slimmer person inside this obese person is wanting to come out. It takes us as parents and as community leaders to take action, get our kids involved, and get them on a better eating guide to help that slimmer person come out. I thank you for being a part of my presentation today. Thank you for coming out, and I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you. You did a good job.
Yes,